Nikola Q3 earnings are out, and boy, are they a doozy. Nikola was not on my list of stocks to cover this week. In fact, I've never talked about Nikola, and we'll see why when we look at the stock chart in just a minute. But there are some things related to EVs that I think we could spend a couple minutes doing story time on Nikola, talk about what's been going on with them for the past couple quarters and what is going to happen to Nikola in 2024. Let's get right into it. Many of you are aware of Nikola and all of the problems it has had over the past several years. But for those who aren't, it is a EV truck company selling semi-cabs, the big trucks, in both a battery-powered and now a hydrogen-powered version. They released earnings today. It missed expectations badly. I want to talk about why and some of the problems that Nikola's had and what they're going to do to try and fix that in 2024. You can see the chart here. It's down about 50% for the year in 2023. It's had a low recently as low as 52 cents, currently trading at $1.16. Market cap on Nikola is $1.14 billion. Just for avoidance of doubt, this is a story time video only. I don't own Nikola. I've never owned Nikola. No position in it whatsoever. But I think it's going to be interesting to talk about some of the challenges they've overcome, some of the ones they're currently facing, and what they are going to be trying to tackle into 2024 to see if is Nikola ever going to be investable? There are states in the United States that are pushing trucking companies to reduce their carbon footprint, California especially. So is there going to be an opportunity for investors to look at something like Nikola or one of its competitors? And when is the right time? What are the struggles and the financial health that these companies have? That's what we're going to talk about as quickly as we can in today's video. Let's start off with the GAAP numbers. Nikola reported negative 50 cents per share loss on the quarter. The non-GAAP adjusted earnings per share came in at negative 30 cents, while Wall Street was expecting only negative 14 cents. That is a huge miss by any standards. On the revenue side, analysts were expecting $13+ million revenue. Nikola reported negative revenue of $1.7 million. For the quarter ending September 30th, Nikola produced 0 vehicles and only delivered 3. Now compare that produced 0 to 75 for the same quarter a year ago, 96 produced in the first 6 months of this year. Let's talk about what happened and what they're doing to fix it. If you guys remember back in 2021, those of you that were around, I said all of these EV startup companies, one of the most crippling things that could happen to them would be to have a major defect and a recall. And that is unfortunately what happened to Nikola. Hey, it happens. But the problem is, as an investor, you don't want to be on the long side when something like that happens. Back in August, Nikola essentially had to recall all of its battery operated vehicles. Now, the hydrogen vehicles, they just started selling in July, but they had several hundred of these battery vehicles out with customers, and they had a serious issue with the batteries, forcing them to recall all the vehicles, do some troubleshooting, and they determined that they're going to have to redesign and replace all of those battery packs, and customers aren't even going to get their vehicles back until starting sometime in first quarter 2024 at the soonest. This causes multiple problems for a company like Nikola. Not only did they have to shut down production while they troubleshoot what the root cause of the failure was, now they have all the vehicles back that they got to work on. They had to write off about 40 million in inventory, 30 million, 40 million of batteries that they're going to have to scrap. And they're going to have to spend over $60 million redesigning and replacing the batteries for these customers. Recalls can be expensive. Nikola tells us that they're going to call this battery electric 2.0 after they replace these batteries with new packs from an alternate supplier. The improved trucks, as a benefit to the customers when they get them back, will have upgraded features, including scheduled charging and improved HMI and Bluetooth functionality. And on the bright news side for the battery operated trucks, even with that recall in place, they say that one dealer still placed a purchase order for 47 new trucks. On the hydrogen side of the business, the newer truck that they just started producing, Nikola tells us in today's call that they have 277 non-binding orders from 35 customers and their dealers. According to management at Nikola, 277 is more than they can produce this year. And in fact, if you ordered a Nikola hydrogen truck today, you likely would not receive it until the end of Q2 2024 due to the manufacturing constraints. When you lease a hydrogen truck from Nikola, the lease includes both the truck, the hydrogen fuel, and the maintenance. And Nikola says that they have secured adequate hydrogen supply to support customer operations in 2023 and the beginning of 2024, and the energy team is working diligently to obtain additional supply and infrastructure solutions for 2024 and beyond. In this video, we're not going to do a deep dive on Nikola's financials. It's just too early for me to spend the time doing that, but let's talk about the highlights just so you know where they're at. You can see here on the right-hand side of this slide in the light blue color, top line revenue was negative $1.7 million, minus the cost of that revenue on the income statement, an additional $123 million. Again, hearkening back to what I said just a couple of minutes ago, not all of that was cash that they had to spend. 30 or 40 million of it was a write-down on batteries, and another 60 million is some warranty money that they had to put aside to replace those batteries that will be expensed out over the next 12 months. But the net result is the same on the income statement. It still contributes to the loss for this quarter, negative $425 million. Nikola did raise cash in Q3, $250 million, bringing their cash position at the end of the quarter to $392 million. Total assets, $1.1 billion. Total liabilities, $544 million. As far as total liquidity, including their ELOC and ATM capacity, the total access to capital at the bottom in the right-hand side of this slide, $705 million. In closing, what do you need to know if you're holding Nikola stock or thinking about jumping in because it's so cheap? For Q4 2023, management said that total truck deliveries will be between 30 to 50 units, revenue between 11.25 million and 18.75 million, with a negative gross margin between negative 135% to negative 215%. So the company, again, will not make money in Q4. The short interest on Nikola, according to Ortex estimates, is just under 22%. That is pretty high short interest, most likely due to the financial problems that the company's been experiencing over the last quarter or so, having to raise cash, production shutdown, battery recall. These are reasons that the company is going to be shorted. As far as the stock price and deciding when or whether to invest in Nikola, well, let me know your thoughts. Are you invested in Nikola? Are you swing trading it? There has been some volatility on Nikola that people have been able to capitalize on, both to the upside and the downside. As for me, I think I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and watch them for the next couple quarters and see how well management steers them out of this problem that they've been dealing with the recall. It was the perfect storm for Nikola, the thing that no startup auto manufacturing company wants to have, a massive recall, an expensive recall. And it's unfortunate that they are going through that, but management seems to be communicating that they are determined to see it through, and they seem optimistic that customer demand will be strong into 2024, and I certainly wish them a lot of luck. If you would like to see on this channel some ongoing coverage of Nikola or a deeper dive like I've done on some of the other EV companies here recently, let me know down in the comments below. I am Tony Denaro. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you are new here, and I will see ya on the next video.